Hey, 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 friends. Hello, hello. Sorry, I was getting my technical difficulty things in order. Um, and yes, I can, Mr. Greer. Hello, hello. We have a special guest joining us for a chat today.
That's
Um,
bizarre.
hello, hello. Yes, I
Am I
can
supposed to
email
accept these
you.
cookies? I don't want to accept these cookies. Reject.
We're not accepting cookies. I guess we just give them.
I get. I don't know. Speak for yourself. What kind of
Hey,
cookies
hey,
you
hey,
be
hey,
giving out?
cute. Howdy, folks. I'm emailing something for Myles for later for the show. Um, and then yeah, we about to get on into it. There's so much to discuss with y'all, but the most important, we are going to really get into our loves with the Love Island babes. So like, for the people who really enjoyed our dynamic last questions last week or last month. Stay tuned. They coming soon. Why I forgot like literally 6 minutes before the
Oh my
Shamin!
God. Hi, Shaman.
Look, our girl it's 1 a.m. babes, and I know you like this show, so I hope you gonna have some commentary. Feel free. We gonna send the link to you if you want it too. If the girls want to come pop on up and share their thoughts. Do. But yeah, I forgot that I need to have a PowerPoint for this. And so I was like, oh, I did everything I need to do. Great. And then I was like, wait a minute. What the people gonna look at? Not my notes.
Not
And
my
so
nose. Also, what you're saying is you don't have a PowerPoint.
no, I do. It's with me. I have it with me. I have it with
I was about to say that was,
Sorry.
I don't have it with
What I'm
me.
saying is my technical difficulties. I had to get that together, and then I just had to email you what you requested because I didn't see your message in time
Well,
because I
I'm
was.
here now. So,
You're here now, but that's later. That's later. You still have time. You still have time.
well,
So,
no, I meant the stream yard link. That's what I meant. That's what I
oh,
was hoping. But I figured it out. It was just some extra steps that
you do like me to send the StreamYard link to your email.
I do.
But anyway, friends, welcome to the Royal Key. And if y'all see, so I'm trying something
Uh,
new. I'm trying to really focus it on each month and like have like a sticker and then
I need
like a
some
picture
chapstick.
either of myself. You see, I'm looking good and glossed up. I try to have it either of myself or whoever is going to be speaking with us, just to like really spice it up because it did boring and dull having like the same photo. So quick life update. Since you all last saw me, so y'all saw me last month when I was on my way to Cancun. Shout out to Sammy for her B-Day. Woo woo woo. Really one of my favorite trips ever. And really learned a lot. It was my first time at a resort. Usually where I either stay at a hotel or we stay at a villa or something or whatever. It was my first time staying at an all inclusive resort, and so shout out to that. I haven't had that experience since the cruise. Shout out to going with Myles in 20. I think it was 17. It could have been 18 though. Um, but it was a great trip. I came back feeling refreshed, rejuvenated. Work is still in the hustle and bustle. We moved back into the office next week slash next month. We got Labor Day coming on up. I forgot a big announcement on here for what's going on. Oh, but best believe I'm gonna make sure I save it for last. But yeah, so what am I watching outside the reality TV? So I'm watching Foundation season 3. So Foundation is a show on Apple TV for folks who aren't sort of familiar. It's like a sci-fi sort of show. And it's very interesting. Like I don't want to spoil too much about it, but like essentially there's a lot of time travel themes about it and around it. I wanted my green screen behind me, but see, I didn't have
oh,
time.
magic.
It's not really magic. It's very sciencey and very sci-fi. They have I don't want to get too much, but they have mind powers. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Um,
so magic adjacent.
Magic adjacent. Everybody has to find a different way of how they want to spiggle spaggle magic. I used to hate when
I'm
people.
just asking because I know how you are about magic. So I was shocked to hear that it was something that was without it. So
I like sci-fi. I like heroes. I like X-Men, Marvel. I like sci-fi. I don't get too much. I never got into Star Wars, the Star Trek, and all those types of things. No, not enough magic to Miles' point. However, it really captivated me. It was slow at the beginning, but like Lee Pace is real fine, and he's the main character in that. And like apparently, or not apparently, it's like he queer too. It's like three. I wonder if he a client. It's three sort of like emperors, so to speak, that like are clones of one another or whatnot, and like they're always existing throughout whatever. Spend a lot of time foundation, but it's really good. I really enjoy the show. Anybody who's interested in sci-fi, Apple TV has the shows. Get into it. I also have been rewatching Pokemon Sinnoh seasons just because I've been in a real Pokemon kick. Like I was playing my games. Look, I got my Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I was playing my Bold Diamond or Brilliant Diamond, whatever it's called. Like I was really in my Pokemon kick, and so I do like to have like some shows that are nostalgic for like just background noise when I'm like getting ready to go to bed. I don't like
see. This is why you don't be sleeping. You talk about the bed, but you don't be sleeping.
I sleep. I sleep at 8 o'clock and I wake up at 5. Not Miles was able to clock me now. Lastly, My Hero Academia. I'm getting back into it. There's a lovely anime that I have that's on the horizon for me to watch. Recommended by Greer here. And so I
spare me
get into it. And then, so what's going on? So real quick, I like to get into pop culture just a little bit, just a little sprinkles. Real Housewives of Atlanta casting rumors. We're bringing K. Michelle and Pinky, who is the CEO of Slutty Vegan, to the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast. What are our thoughts about that? You know what I mean? I know me and Miles and our friend group, we've talked about it, and I talked about it with a few other friends, but I say hear ye. K. Michelle clearly is a veteran in the reality TV space. It's very interesting that we're bringing someone from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think it's indicative of how the show has changed. Because back in the day, you never would have thought, like, mind you, Nene and Kim and Sheree was who they was season 1 through plus, but you never would have thought to, like, when someone starts, like a lot of these shows, in the words of Nicki Minaj, are Real Housewives sons, Love and Hip Hop's basketball wives. Like, a lot of these were sort of like that twist, that turn, that like, hey, let's have this focus. And it's very much so for the Black community and the African American community, whatever you want to spin it and call it. So shout out to that. But yeah, it's definitely changing. And I think with like the social media of it all and just like who these reality personalities are now, like we didn't have a lot of people who weren't named like, big names. From like Candy is the Candy Burris. Like, my girl, she did her what's it called? Her Bills. She, got her Grammys, all those types of things. She got on the platform. Nene was like an actual housewife. We got actual housewives. Yes, Shaman, allegedly, K. Michelle is going to be a housewife on this upcoming season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, yeah. Anywho, next, Cardi B is in court. So Cardi B is in court for, and I have notes somewhere, but they didn't disappear with my other notes. But she's essentially.
I don't have it with me.
I don't have it with me.
I don't have it with me.
I don't think K. Michelle is married. And nowadays, no one's married on those shows. I think the only one who's married is Shamia Morton Mugami, or whatever her last name is now. Mwandi. And
well, wasn't Nene married before?
Who?
Everybody was married at some point.
No, I don't.
Housewives? Hi, Tati.
Not everyone. Kenya Moore has never. Oh, she was married later on in the show. She started in season 5 and she was married season 10 or season when they kicked her off. Like a lot of people aren't married. There's sometimes they like to have that like that single person on there, but now it's like everyone's single and there's that one married person.
Huh.
So like because it's Shamia, it's Kelly who was in the middle of a divorce. Angela was married, but we don't, or not. No, Angela is married. Sorry, I'm thinking of Britt Eady. Britt Eady, we don't know, allegedly married. It was just real weird about like the context of her relationship. So like we had like people who were married allegedly, but like when it got to Drew Sidor's getting a divorce, like when it got to the reunion, only Charles was there with his wife Angela.
When I
Shamia's
think
husband.
of Drusadora, I think of that song that she did at that one reunion, and I was like, "What's going on?"
It was so embarrassing. I had to skip through it. Like when people start singing, I do not like. And my
No,
great voice, beautiful voice, beautiful girl. I don't want to hear that.
next.
And so yes, so Cardi B, she got into it with somebody. I think it was in 2018. I think it was what my notes said. Once again, girl, where is that? Don't know. But she got into
Wait,
it with
was this when
somebody. She
she
got
threw
to
that
fight.
microphone or no?
It was a microphone. It was somebody who was a security guard who was recording her. I don't know what she threw at her, but she hit her, and she was like, "Get out
She
of my
threw a
face!"
microphone. She said,
Oh,
"Bop."
microphone.
I
No, that
think
was
because
on
they
stage.
be throwing things. Was this a
That was
different
on
event?
stage. She's aggressive, so she does
Gotcha.
those things. I will say she was Afro Caribbean. The girls who know me know I love me some Cardi B, but they know my philosophy. I don't claim people to be black until they claim themselves to be black. I still have yet to hear her say she was black, but the Afro Caribbean was a major step for me that she vocalized, not a tweet,
Yes.
not something that that it's hinted. Of course, I know she has like African ancestry in her
I'm
family.
black.
She's a legend, or she's not a legend. She's shown that, but she hasn't explicitly stated that. I'm black. You see, I'm black. You see me coming from a mile away. You see this crown too. Click it. I need to get a new one.
Clock it.
And then lastly, before I get on to my big announcement, before we get on to the show, so we get into Love Island, Lil Nas X. So folks who don't know, Lil Nas X was recently found or recently had footage in the streets of LA. Forgot the street exactly. Michaela and Dwayne know what y'all, but he was walking down the street in like some tiny whities and some like white boots, looking, I don't know, just out of it, so to speak. And a lot of people was
So to
recording
speak.
him, getting some moments, getting some bites, some social media clicks and things like that. And then later on, it was told to us that he was arrested, got into it with a police officer, and like he's been since then has been released and saying like he's fine, he's gonna be fine, he's gonna be okay. But he has a lot of charges against him, and so there's been a lot of speculation about like what's going on. I don't think he has confirmed anything that's going on. A lot of like my brother is on the show. I'm not sharing his comment. Hi, brother.
Wait, I
But yeah,
want to see it didn't pop up for me.
I didn't make it pop up.
Oh. Oh, I got you. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. And so, yeah, all that to say, a lot of people are like, oh, there has to be some drugs going on around and about, which, it does give that, as
It does
someone
give
who
that.
you see the people who be on the drugs, me, I ride the bus, so I do see a lot of people here. You got a dog or cat in the background? What you looking at?
So do your show,
I
girl.
can
I
see.
was
I
just
can
I
see.
was just trying to figure out how close my teapot was because I wanted to make a cup of tea real quick.
Okay,
So
make your
I'll
cup
be
of tea
right
because
back.
I still gotta do my,
Yeah.
nothing things. But I did want to say, lastly, so our thoughts and prayers are with Lil Nas X. Let's, pray, come together as a community. Let's hope he gets the help that he needs. Let's hope he gets some mentorship, he gets some fellowship, some brotherhood, sisterhood, siblinghood, whatever he needs to get him to a place to where the Lil Nas X that we knew. A lot of people was like, is this a troll? Is this sort of like a publicity thing? Like, what's going on? And so like I do think like there does need to be some grace that's extended to him. Because like like it can happen to a lot of people, and so who are we to judge? Lastly, I want to talk about Karen Huger has been stated that she will be released September 2nd. Major day for Real Housewives of Potomac fans. The Karen Huger will be the Karen Huger will be back in Potomac, alive and free, roaming around, seeing what Mr. Ray got going on. And I wonder what she's going to be doing. Hi, CC. I wonder what she's going to be doing with exactly Tati. It's a celebration. Like, good news. Wow, I'm really. How do you feel as a citizen of the DMV that the Grand Dame of Potomac will be back on your streets in a matter of days?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I knew they wasn't going to hold her down for too long. She was going to get out on good behavior. You know,
She's
she got to
60
stop
something.
drinking. She got to stop drinking. You know,
She has
and
money. Like, even if she's not rich from like whatever else Ray got going on, she has enough money from
mm-hmm.
Potomac, and when she's on shows enough to like just pay a driver, just pay an Uber. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
Have a castmate, but granted, she's 60. She probably proud and whatever, and feel like she, too good. My bad. I'm texting my sister.
chill out.
Chill out.
Just a
Stop
little,
drinking. Stop
just a
drinking.
little, just a little, just a little.
Exactly. Still me not knowing. We're talking about just a cute little pop culture check-in before we get on into, or before I get on into, like I said, really quickly, I really want to be done with these in the next 15 so that me and Myles can really dig and dive into Love Island, because I have a lot of questions for Myles and I really want to like share all my thoughts. And I know there's a lot of people who like Love Island here, and I want y'all to share y'all's thoughts as well. So thank y'all for my royal check-in and pop culture updates. If y'all got anything else, go ahead, share it in the chat, in the comments, anything like that. Send it to me directly, and we'll get into it in the next month. So I'm going to be very, very, very quick about what's going on in Real Housewives world. So I really have only been watching Real Housewives of Miami and Orange County, but they've been aggravating me. Real Housewives of Miami, same old, same old, same old. Shout out to Larsa for, mind you, I still think that Real Housewives of Miami is one of the best Real Housewives shows out there right now, But it gets to a point. I don't always like seeing the Black housewives ganged up on, even though sometimes it'd be warranted. And so what happened this month, I'd say, is a lot of the Julia versus Gertie stuff going on. Julia is the girl in the back with sort of like the little blazer on. Gertie is the Black girl in the front, the only Black girl you see. They have this whole tiff because Julia was saying that Gertie essentially wasn't a real great friend to her, using her, something about a cruise, like blase, threw a drink at her. It was water,
right?
but threw a drink at her. And then everybody was just like, everybody just watched it was like, oh, child. Then fast forward to Gertie Gertie is a survivor of cancer. She had an event. And so Myles, at the event, child, she it was a beautiful event. She did what she needed to do. And then towards the end, of her event, she exposed screenshots between her and Julia, because Julia was trying to say that Gertie begged to be on the cruise for clout. And Gertie was like, why would I beg to be on the cruise? I was just on. I got on there because you said your husband or your wife, wasn't able to be on it no more. And you said you wanted more support, and that's why I came. So what you're not about to do is make me look like a liar. Would you categorize me as a liar? Well, I don't characterize myself as that. And so she shared her screenshots, and they were appalled. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we got Lisa and Larsa still beefed out because Lisa has not unfollowed. And let me ask you this question. So Lisa and her boyfriend was real good friends with Larsa and her boyfriend Marcus Jordan before the cocaine allegations and things came back up out in the world. So Lisa still follows Marcus because he's friends with Jody, who is Lisa's boyfriend. Larsa feels as though, I'm no longer with Jody, you need to unfollow him. And she has been making a point every time she sees her to be like, why are you still following Jody? What's your thoughts on it? Would you unfollow even if your partner was still friends, like whatever, like granted, you're not friends with this person, but like y'all still are in the same circles because they're your partner's friend. Would you unfollow them in solidarity with your good Judy? Mind you, they good Judy because of the show, not because of real life. But yeah, what's your thought?
So my good Judy just broke up with her man that I also follow. Well, here's the thing, though. I wouldn't be following the man.
And you know what? And I do think that's Southern in me. Why do I'm not your partner's friend. I'm yours.
I'm not their friend.
Why would I follow them in the first place?
Yeah.
Okay. However, I do think that Larsa is blowing it up a little bit too much. She hasn't unfollowed them. She should, but maybe it's a pride thing. Maybe it's like you keep trying to send me like I'm your child. I'm gonna still follow him. Why is it that big of a deal that I follow him? Because these are personalities too. These aren't like regular people. You know what I
Now, that's
mean?
the theme we
So
discussed a little bit earlier today with some Love Island folks, but we can come back to that.
we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. And that's I'm definitely on a different side right now than I am than
I
was.
can't wait to hear it.
And you asked me not follow is immature. Like, who was checking for? Exactly. However, I probably wouldn't follow him anyway and probably would be done with it. And look, my brother talk about pick a side. The thing is, she picked Larsa's side. Larsa just, hey, your nose must be caught up in the same thing Marcus's nose was in. My sister is here. Hi. Wow, sibling love. Anyway, so that's what's going on in Miami. And then there's this girl, the girl on the end, and like the little whatever type of dress she got on. She's really rich. She has a private jet. She's being very snooty booty about that. Alexia, the girl on the other end, she's one of the HBICs, been on the show since the beginning. The girl called her out on her stuff. Alexia has, this is embarrassing, Myles. Alexia has been filed for divorce, like I think right after the show, the last season ended. And then but they're not getting a divorce. It's a very toxic relationship that many of our
meaning they didn't sign the papers.
They did not sign the papers, and they're not going to sign the papers. I don't even know if this paper.
Well, people do that,
But it's just this whole round and about that they got of like Todd is not good for Alexia, but Alexia is still with Todd. What's going on? And so Stephanie is like,
just for the PR of it all or the show of it all. Or
well, Alexia,
what do you think it's for?
I think she's just a dumb bee. Okay. Like, I think she's
there's space for that. Yeah,
and I think she and I think she's too old and she's putting too many people in her business. If y'all aren't going to divorce, keep it out the blogs. And so it's like in the blogs, and it's like once again when you have this public figureism and you become sort of like a notable a notable person in the communities that you're in, like it's everyone's business, and you put us all in the group chat. We don't want to be here, and it's like you are crying and you're like, he's playing mind games with you, but you're going back into the mind games. So you are also playing games with him. And
exactly. Let's be real about how we're participating in it.
Exactly. But I will say, I know I'm going through quick and I'm done with Miami, but I said something about all the main housewives that's on the picture. Hey, a lot of shows don't have everybody on the cast working like that. And so they are working hard. They just getting on my nerves. Next, let's get into my phase, Real Housewives of Orange County. I agree. People love the toxic love. Real Housewives of Orange County. Big thing, there's a lot of Bloggate. So Myles, the Asian lady on here, clearly the only woman of color, her. Pretty girl. You see my arrow, right? Or you don't?
I remember last time I was on here, they had some issues. So I'm assuming they still have some.
She is the scapegoat of the season. They don't fuck with her no more. And so because she talks to blogs, because she thinks that they her friends, and she tells them tea, and she likes validation. And so
keep going. I'm disagreeing.
And so one of the biggest things that they got going, two things. I don't know if I talked about the whole recording of Shannon yet. So Shannon, the girl right next to her, standing up, she was going off when you know how they take these pictures. So she was going off when they took these pictures. So she's on the phone with her husband, or she was trying to be on the phone with her partner, but she was on the phone with her husband. And so she pressed record. You know how I do. I send the voice record or voice note. That's all I do. So she sends a voice thing to her husband. And then allegedly she told one of the girls who was suing Shannon, and she told some of the other girls. So she told Alexis told everybody. And then they're like, so you recorded me? And she's like, well, no, girl, I didn't record you. Like, I sent the recording of you to my husband, but that's it. And so Shannon is like, you despicable, vile creature and being. I want nothing to do with you. You are sickening. That is illegal. Mind you, last season, Shannon ran into a mailbox like Karen Huger ran into those deers. And so because she was drunk, like Karen Huger was. And so, and that wasn't alleged, And so it's, when do it becomes? We're so legal when things are about us, but do we forget the things that we did? Anyway, one of the biggest things is Gretchen. Mind you, everybody's against Katie. That's boring. I hate a pile up like that. Unless the person heavyweight champ like Nene, unless they can take it. Like I can't take no weakie getting whacked and popped and flipped and like
What
like
more do you want from me?
look, or at least be like a hooder. But
Oh,
but anywho, all that to say, one of the newest sort of scandals before I go on to the next, one of the newest scandals that we got going on is Gretchen was on the seasons like when it became Housewives. So when it shifted from documentaries to actually being Housewives because it was drama. And so I think that was season three, 4. It was she had a dying husband or dying fiance, and she didn't go somewhere with the group. I don't remember, but Tamara, this messy hoe, sitting in the front, perked like this. She was like, she was talking about like her weekend or whatever. She's like, yeah, Jeff was like really sick, and so we had him in the whatever. And she's like, didn't you go to Bass Lake? And she was like, he's so sick, but you're on U Street. No, they have pictures. And so that's when it became the Housewives thing. And so she's back. She was low-key dating after her fiance died. She was low-key dating or trying to talk to Tamara's son. Oh, look, my tit here. Hi.
You said your what?
My niece.
I heard something else.
And so, and so she was dating her son, who's sketchy. He's a MAGA man, and so,
my God,
well, he is now. Clearly, he wasn't a MAGA man back in 2009. Well,
he wasn't.
Well, that's why I said, never mind, let me correct myself. Anyway, it was alleged that she was, they was trying to get her drunk, and not drunk to take advantage of her, but drunk, I think, to make a fool of her. And so she talked about
the recording later.
And so she talked about how she had to go to the hospital afterwards. She told the Asian lady, Katie, that she had to go to the hospital afterwards. They checked her system. There was drugs in her system. Then Katie brought that up. I think Katie brought it to a blog. Stop talking to the blogs. And
shut up.
and then Gretchen was like, I never said that. I never went to the hospital, but then she said in the car that she did go to the hospital. And so it's just a lot of lies and things going around. And so, yeah, there's a lot of other things going on with these ladies, but yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but like, next. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So I finally caught up on the reunion like a week or two ago. I have not had access to Hulu for like months. And so once I got access, I was like, this is the first thing I need to do is jump back into Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And so it was an okay reunion, nothing major, nothing scandalous. Demi, HBIC, main villain of the season, wasn't there, unfortunately. As you see, most of the 3 of the girls are already pregnant in this picture. Like, come on now. But whatever. And I'm sure there's more to be pregnant in the next season. Like these Mormon girls, like bake and drop. I can't even think of an analogy. But anyway, long story short, I love these girls. I'm a big fan of sort of like their drama. It's wild to me that they have all this drama in their 12 years old. Like these ladies are literally in their early 20s. Like Myles, can you imagine like us leading they don't go to college, but like us leading the orientation, us leading an orientation group of these women and hearing some of the things that they talk about at orientation or like in whatever. Like these are young girls in their 20s on like their 3rd child and 3rd marriages, some of them. Oh, who's calling us? Or is that just our alarm?
No, that was my timer for my tea so I can remember to drink it.
Get to it. Yeah,
but I don't know what they be talking about. I can't imagine them walking around pregnant in that hot Texas summer heat. No, I can't do that. But I might have to
like, refer. It's very like fraternity sorority, like, but like times 10. Like if they really like were, like really committed to the drama. Like it's like not just dating. We have a baby to show for it and we're married. And so they talk about
the alpha feed that
Kyle. Control it.
Sorry to offend anybody that's a part of those or affiliated.
Yeah, but yeah, good season. I recommend everybody catch on to it. 2 of them will be on Dancing with the Stars. The little Latino Jen.
Is that Mormon? Are Mormons allowed to do that?
Here's the thing. They tweak and dance around things to make themselves. They kind of like me a
Oh,
little
like
bit.
Christians.
Well, I don't do that, but yes, like
I
they
don't do that.
to make it so. So it's like they can't
Okay.
get surgeries, but they can get Botox and like all these types of things and filler and like XYZ. They can't do drugs, but they do like ketamine treatments with their partners. Like they can't drink caffeine, but they drink soda. Like it's just very weird. They don't do coffee, but sometimes like they count the coffee if it's not like if they would like no one of them they do coffee enemas because they can't ingest the coffee. Like they can't take their cup, so they'll do a coffee and like they're weird. And that's what I'm saying. They're so kooky. Like I can't wait for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City to come back. I think I want to move to Salt Lake. I want to move to Utah. I don't know how it's gonna fare for me, but
That's definitely a choice. Yeah.
I just want to be around it even
Beautiful
closer
mountains.
day to day. Can we do our next cash trip there? No. Okay. Moving forward. Moving forward, Big Brother 27. Look, dang, I am over my time. Big Brother 27, love all the girls. We've eliminated quite a bit of people now. And so shout out to where we are. I will say all the black people are still in the game. So shout out to it. The girl at the bottom, she's biracial. You see her with the little floral. She's still in the game. We got the girl at the top in the pink. My favorite. She is the villain that we've been looking for. Like she hey, what can I say? Like she has a level of delusion to her that like she thinks that she is running this game. Mind you, if she didn't win, she won a power this week and she won a power last week that saved her from being eliminated. If she did not, she would have been going home. But in winning that and having such a charming demeanor, she's been able to easel her way back into it. That's what the thing about Big Brother is like you can find yourself on the outs, but all you need is a little time and a little like security, and you'll find yourself right back on the end. And so I would like to see how I would fare in that. I don't know how well I would, just because I do think that I'm a bit temperamental and I'm very like it gets to a point I get irritated and I just go straight to it. You know what I mean? And so I would love to be a little bit more well mannered and like, mild mannered, so to speak, and wait until we get on to the end. But yeah, Big Brother is heating on up. We got Rachel. Oh, is Rachel not on these photos? She is not on these photos. I have to get an updated cast photo. But we have Rachel from Big Brother 12 and 13, winner of 13, who is in here essentially running the house. We got this man with this Monopoly mustache, his Pringle mustache. He is one of the most annoying people to me, but I love him so much. He's so weak in the sense of like he will tell whoever he's talking to what they want to hear, which will get him far in the game, but it just really wears on me. But anyway, without further ado, I want to get on into it.
Were these on the same as last time?
Yeah, I'm pulling Myles for another chat. Let's get into it. Love Island. So, Myles, how do you want to get into this? Should I give my notes on the reunion? And so y'all were just talking about the reunion, but feel free if y'all want to talk about the show too. Should I give my thoughts on the reunion or should I ask you my questions?
Give thoughts and then get into the questions because some of the thoughts might segue into questions and then we can do also that too,
Okay, period. So love the intro. Love the people coming in, the cuties. Also let me boom, boom, boom. This is all the girls at the reunion. I didn't know what I was expecting coming into this. So y'all who don't
I was about to say, well, you didn't watch.
I haven't watched I didn't watch the season at all. I knew nothing except for what was on social media, which was quite a lot. Love Island was infiltrating every bit of social media, and so no one could get away. And I don't believe in mute. Do you mute words and things on social media?
Sometimes, like when Beyonce was going on that one tour, I muted her.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So anyway, I would say, yeah, I love the intro. I love the people walking in, feeling like, feeling themselves. And I love to see all the people because I did not know this many people was on the cast this season.
Well, some of these people were not main people. Some of these people were bombshells.
Oh, we have a cute question from Tati. What's the hype about Love Island? Can you give us a quick as an
The
avid
hype
viewer.
about it is that Love Island is a spinoff of Big Brother. Like the UK got all of it is. UK has all
Control
of the shows. It's not like it's not a
it.
direct spinoff, but it has the same
Sentiment is social
format,
strategy. Yeah.
same social strategy. It's just you throw in some young people in there that are conventionally attractive, and you ask them to, do humiliation rituals, same as Big Brother, um, to ultimately get to the end and hopefully have a chance to get money from it. And it only got super popular be like this last year. USA has gotten super popular.
Shout
And I think that was just good to like good marketing and well-timed marketing.
out.
Because before that, it wasn't really like nobody was really checking for it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom and my grandmother introduced me to Love Island. That's how obscure it was when I started watching it.
Yeah, I watched Love Island with Michaela, who I thought she was gonna join, child, but I guess she busy. But I watched Love Island with Michaela during the pandemic, and so like that was like really what we got into. But then after pandemic, I was like, girl, I'm not getting into this no more. But all that to say, they started off with the final four. I don't know. Mind you, in real time. So when the premiere or when the reunion aired, they filmed the reunion a month later, and then it aired. However,
At the end of July.
So they filmed in the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then it aired the end of August, and so whatever. From the time that it aired, all the couples except for about 2-3 of them broke up, and so
Well, yeah.
which honestly, let's get into it. But I don't know. I think from watching and like I don't know if it's like my bias, like when something hindsight 2020, like the Brian stuff. I didn't watch Brian on the show, so I don't know how he was on the show. But Brian just gave icky to me right away when he came out on the stage with Amaya. Like, and also, never mind. I'm trying to get into. Let me make sure I am saying my notes in order.
Well, so with all the four couples that are on there, Brian, let's just say all of them, I predicted how long they were going to last. Brian and Maya weren't going to last because the only reason why Brian and Amaya won, or Brian was even allowed to be
Because
on that
Amaya was
final
that girl.
podium, was because Amaya was that girl. America had a lot of sympathy for Amaya. I had a lot of sympathy.
So that's how she became that girl, the sympathy. Because I was trying to figure out what was it about Amaya. Because
and plus she's funny as hell.
I'm sorry, I'm just a Nicolandria. Like Nicolandria is clearly the stars of the show, and so like I'm just trying to figure out like how it's up to me, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to love Amaya Papaya as well. I just the general public, what are y'all giving me to love her or to fall in love with her? But it's the sympathy story. It's the redemption.
Well, you had to watch the show.
Exactly, but I don't have to watch the show to love Nicolandria. I don't have to watch the show to be a fan of Ace and Shelly. I don't have to watch the show to be like, oh, okay, Huda is da 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 da.
Huda is funny.
And so that's where my thing is of like Amaya is so whatever, but she didn't really give me much. And neither did Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nicolandria was looking real good at the reunion as per usual.
Nicolandria just shuts down. Nick could have did a little bit more for me. He was cute, but Alandria just every time just
So let me know who was y'all's faves. Exactly. Who were y'all's faves of the season, especially from the final four? And so I guess that was all I had to say about that. And then we sort of get on down. They show us the people backstage. I love seeing Shelly and Ace.
Well, let me say this. Ooh. I thought the reunion overall was entertaining. Okay. I thought Andy ate as a co-host.
He did. He did.
Andy was such a good addition because he asked the questions that we all wanted to know. Whereas last year, I feel like Ariana didn't like really get into that. Yeah, she was she was too nice.
That's how the girls do on The Love Is Blind. I don't know. Me and Twin used to be really into that. And like we'd be like, y'all not really getting into it with them in these questions. Y'all gonna piss me off. Hire someone.
And that's what I really appreciated about Andy. He got into it like immediately. Even when, like you were about to say, when they got into that room, Ace and Shelly, they were like, "Oh, he's not playing around."
Yeah. They were like, "Oh, we get into it," which, like, thank goodness.
Yes.
And so yeah, I love that. Do you think that the exclusive but not official thing helps them or hurts them?
I don't really care. It's so arbitrary because you don't know what's going to happen when they leave the villa. So it's like, sure, you're saying that now, but like you could be like Brian and Amaya, where Brian was like, yes, I'm all about her. I'm really, into this, and blase, only to, be thoughting and plotting all across the New York and Miami.
Mhm.
And so it's really a waiting game to see who is serious about it. That's the more interesting thing. It's who says they're exclusive and who says they're really down about it and who's actually really down about it, right?
Okay.
Because them saying it don't mean nothing to me. It's honestly like real life to me. You saying that a nigga, I'm sorry, a man, a nigga, whoever is saying something
I
really
don't got
don't
enough
mean
followers to work.
it don't mean nothing to me. Thank you. Okay, well, it don't mean nothing to me until I see the fruits of that,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what about you?
Wait, before I want to address some of the comments real quick, my sister right along with you. The people won't help for Huda. I
They
really enjoy
don't.
Huda, low key, and so I give my
Huda
side.
is great TV.
Great TV. I think phenomenal. I think Huda is. I didn't know that she would be. To me, Nick and Landry is clearly the stars of the show, even without it. And so the fact that
How
Huda
long is the
is
contract
above
to be?
everybody, huh?
Yeah,
Yes, so
the
Tati,
contracts are as long as they can be committed to the other person. That is how long they, or if they sign up for Love Island games or some shit like
I
that.
would love to like experience Tati watching Love Island.
Me too.
And then, well, yeah, probably Ariana was so bad that they brought Andy in. Probably. So, Nick and Andrea, whatever. We're gonna talk about them regardless. So Sierra not being at the reunion, I felt some type of way about that, but I know
I did too. I wish she was there.
And the thing is, we can't have her there. She's saying racial things. The fans are going to eat us up. Mind
They
you,
are.
she did apologize. It was whatever. Y'all brought it up to the people and to the public, and this is what happens. And so that's the unfortunate part about it, to be honest. Oh. Yeah, Ariana couldn't handle Hood on her own. I do think Sierra needed to be there because she was so instrumental in the.
She was so instrumental.
You know what I mean? And I know that from someone who doesn't watch it. And like, mind you, I think a good video clip, I think a good video interview, like they had Zach.
Yes, like they had Zach. She didn't have to be there.
A video clip would have been great. A video clip of her addressing it, apologizing, and then saying, mind you, they probably did ask her, and she probably wasn't even on board with it because the thing is, and I got Nick's point. Nick's being, and I don't know any of these people, but Nick being like, well, no, she talking about how could a friend? I was over here eating my little Wingstop from yesterday, listening to the reunion, like. But how could a friend, say that that she wished that we like whatever she felt hurt and betrayed, but that's her feelings, that's her right. She just is in the show.
That's
like
her feelings, that's her right. She's also an influencer, so no shit. She's gonna talk all this shit and she's gonna say all this stuff because she knows that's what people want.
And you're in this relationship because that's what people want.
Thank you. Ooh, too much too soon.
But I mean, I guess I would want the attention too, and to be feeling the way. They're all kids at the end of the day. So just like I was talking about the Mormon wives, all these people are in their mid to lower.
Except Shelly.
Control it. And then we got into I think Pepe hot. They talking about
I really do. I wish he didn't have such an affinity to whiteness, but if he didn't do that, I'd bark up that tree for sure.
Look, I was like, oh wow, like he didn't, because once again, Nick and Andrew is just the stars of the show, and Shelly and Ace. I didn't really pay attention to anybody else, including Brian and Amaya, who looked like they control it.
And Pepe was a sweetie.
Who?
Pepe.
Oh yeah. And so Iris was like, you have to ask somebody in a relationship post exclusivity. I got that. I understood that. The girl talking about they want to. It don't just go hand in hand.
Don't go hand in hand.
You're not getting it. The exclusivity in the relationship. us saying that we are exclusive, we are dating, we are just one-on-one. Let's test that. Let's ride the wave. I think Ace talked about it a lot about they're in different cities. Like, you know what I mean? Like we have to really figure out what we are. And then
That
when we
right. So there's like in the villa, and then there's like the real life getting to know
yeah,
each other.
and let's continue to date in the real life too. And like, yes, I
Yeah.
have you, but also it's the show, it's the appeal, it's the brands, it's the all those things. And like, honestly, that's just the monster that's been created. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And so
moving
people are going
fast
to
for
ride
sure.
that
Yeah.
wave, regardless. And so it's going to take some time of like they need someone to help them better navigate post that. And like I know they have this love after villa lockup, whatever it's called. But
It's
it's
just
like
another humiliation ritual, but
but I think that there needs to be something to really like tie and ease the people. And so yeah, I feel like they're riding the ride like America gonna keep. Yes, the people are riding the ride like America is still watching and America is still gonna keep voting for them. But I think that's what the endorsements are. So it's like, okay, if you're doing good, you will be rewarded. And like, how about this? We want to bring you here. We want to hear about your love story. We want to da 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 da. And I mean, to be fair, I do think that month, little whatever the month, 1 to 2 months is a good enough to call it quits. Like have your fun, get the ride of the game, the high of the game, and then say, yeah, it just didn't work.
well, that's what Brian did with Amaya. So
And so did Iris and
yes.
Pepsi. And
And
so
we don't know about that one. I mean, we do know they're done, but we don't know what happened between
okay.
those two.
So well, I said Iris got close with that guy, Pepe and Hannah. Mind you, I ain't never heard nothing about this Hannah girl. And then
Yeah. So first,
I
it's
seen
not
her
too
on
much
the reunion.
because Hannah Banana, that's my girl. She should have been. So first of all, fuck Iris. Iris should have been home. I'm
Iris
sorry.
gives Shakira to me. Does she give Shakira to you?
Secure? No.
Shakira. She don't like
Oh,
Shakira to you?
Shakira. No, she don't. Them fillers is blocking it. But
So,
Hannah was who Iris wishes she was. Actually, that's a projection. That's an assumption. But I wish that's what I feel is that Hannah should have been Iris or in Iris's position because to be honest, Iris was a wet blanket. She didn't really give much. She didn't do much, and we'll get to that point later where I think she's fake for how she was with Huda and just how she was in general. Because I feel like Hannah was a little bit more down. She was a bit more personable, and it just really
she
confused me
was.
how Shelly, because we find out in the reunion that Shelly led the charge against Hannah passively, which was weird to me. I said passively because she didn't say vote Hannah, but she was making arguments to like
We'll get
Hannah
into that.
shouldn't be here.
We'll get to that.
Which was
I
weird watching. Sorry.
I think that was production.
Well, we watched her say it.
We watched her say it, but what we didn't watch is production behind the camera saying, say something else. Like this isn't live. You know what I mean? Like production altered Big Brother. And so I do think that production has a heavy influence. And so especially seeing, just to jump ahead a little bit, especially seeing when they showed like the list of the people and they were at the bottom anyway, I think it was a production-led thing. Like I do think was a production thing because I was shocked. And so I think production was like, throw some more dirt, some more salt on it. Like, you know what I mean? And like, and so like, I think that they tried to make it as
that could have been.
They have it on Housewives too, where they be like, oh, say the thing. It's time. Like they don't tell you what to say, but they do like, spark you and they do all these types of things. And so I do think that it was influenced, but Shelly was the one who took the bait. She was the one who did it. She didn't have to, but I do think someone was going to have to because that's what the production wanted to be. They wanted to keep the show along. We'll come back to this because there's some things to add to that. Yeah. So let's go on to Huda and Chris. Huda is so funny to me. I loved it. Chris is such a cutie. They don't look good together to me. Huda could have potential. Sure. Huda is prettier to me than I thought she was. She's very beautiful. I think it was so funny when they whole exchange was awkward. And Huda pissed me off with that too. Because she was given that somebody was trying to media train her, but maybe it took a little bit too well. You know what I mean? And so it was so obvious that it was like uncomfortable, or it was even more like off-putting because it was like
Now, girl, but then also when you think about Huda after watching her this season, it's not above her character to do exactly what she did that night. So sure, she might have practiced it, but Huda was always going to do what she did. She was always going to be like, "Oh, I'm fine. Everything's great."
Yeah, and then Chris is like, "Well, it's not," and then
Because that was the whole sum of their relationship, because he forced her to break up with him because she would not be honest.
And she looks like she didn't want to be there, and so her and him being like, "Well, my mom's happy with the way it rolled out," sent me beyond
Because we knew it. We knew it. We knew Chris's mom wasn't about that. But she was over there like, yes, Huda, beautiful gowns. You know, I like
she's a
it better.
beautiful
We
girl.
knew it. We knew it. We knew she didn't like Huda. We knew it.
Wanted to fix it last minute, girl, whatever. And then them asking, "So who are you dating?" Oh, I'm not legally allowed to say that.
A
Netflix,
lie.
you're lying.
You're lying.
Who's saying that? And give me the
Who
producer
said that?
And like, what I do love about a person like Huda, and I think that that's why she's going to do well on this reality TV world, is like she has a level of like not really being of this earth. Because anyone who knows about reality,
That's a nice way to put it.
knows who Andy Cohen is, and they know, like, you know what I mean. Like he brings an authority, and so I'm sure they probably was like, "Oh, hey, we're bringing Andy Cohen, like somebody important from like Bravo or Housewives, whatever," but they don't know how instrumental, like how he's been around since the inception of Real Housewives, how, you know, him and Nene has created like what this whole brand and
Very Gen Z, yeah,
like the ensemble cast of reality television that made it very possible for them to, you know, be a little bit more elevated in this way of Love Island. You know what I mean? And so I do appreciate that like realness of like, oh, I can't speak, versus somebody would be like, you know, oh, what I'm gonna say to Andy, because I, you know, even most likely you girls will never be on Real Housewives. Like I do, like you're
even
not.
so in that comment, you gonna play Andy? Andy, who knows how contracts work
and knows these people
and knows these people.
And the thing is, it's one thing if you weren't on the red carpet. You're on the red carpet, babes. We saw it. We see it. We know it.
Andy said, so who were you with on the red carpet?
And then he, jumping ahead, made a video talking about, shut up. He's a loser. Luis.
A loser. I didn't.
Anywho.
Why are you speaking? Right. So, I just thought that was, I really loved how Chris basically backed Huda into a corner in that moment, deservingly so, because she wasn't going to give us anything and she thought she was going to get away with that. And I thought Chris did a good job of that.
Exactly. I agree. And so then going on to, they talked about Amaya, Papaya, and Brian. Once again, I'm just like, this looks like they're not serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like Nicolandria.
They asked about like, so Brian, we heard you had some infidelity or something. They asked him about.
No, yes, I forgot the did I?
And both of them were like,
well, no, it was something, and then he was like, "Yeah, I had a lapse of judgment." And Andy said,
I had a lapse of judgment.
What does that mean? I pouring shots.
Pouring shots is a lapse of judgment.
And it gave that they was covering something, but they want to ride They want to ride this ride, and like, mind you, this was July, and so they wanted to still ride it, and they didn't know that they probably was going to be.
And Amaya over here, I'm gonna stand beside him.
Exactly.
It was just a misunderstanding.
She gave that to me. She gave that to me. That like, oh, that's I'm gonna stand by. She's like, do y'all think that I would be with someone who would? Yes, actually, just now that you said that, I do. And so, and then what killed me is saying New York City and Boston, like that was long distance.
Right. But then also, there's a whole train too. Brian didn't say nothing about a train. He was like, it's a 35-minute flight.
It's a 15-minute flight. It's a Exactly. Hey, Aurora. Like my sister, he just dumped her. Allegedly, she posted on social media. We don't know what went on, but we know he out there.
Well, they're broken up.
Well, yeah, but we don't know who broke up with who. But we know they're out in the world now, having a good time.
And well, we can just assume, child, at that point. Like Brian was running he done blew through that 50,000. Okay, somebody said they hope he can return that Rolex because
And I hope so too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I will say fitting.
Right.
Will never be Serena and Cordell, and so give y'all whoever because like that's what the season deserves. Like the season doesn't
Hmm.
deserve a Nick and Andrea win. It deserves whatever
I
this is,
honestly just wanted Amaya to take the money for herself.
and she wasn't gonna do that
She
probably.
wasn't going to do it.
And so going to segment 2, we talked about Clark and Taylor. Can I have a kid feeling? Beautiful couple, cute couple. They look real good together. They talked about being the country fit. He's the cowboy, she's the Southern Belle, or whatever they said in the
Hmm.
segment. And they said they really fit in with the family, and I love that for them. I just really am like, mind you, Nick is not gorgeous to me, but he fits Alandria way more than Taylor does. Like they don't give an actual fit. They give cute together. Like maybe they would have dated in high school, maybe in college if they knew each other and was in the same circles, but not that they would really like. If I would have seen Taylor and Alandria, I would be like, what is this? But I think Clark is a very pretty girl, and
Yeah,
I think that they fit. Like there's a
very
normalcy.
beautiful.
Like I think that like the black couples that Nick's not black, but like I think that like Ace and Shelley really match one another. I think that Clark and Taylor really match one another. I think that Nick and Angel really match one another and like their vibe and things like that. So I hope they ride the wave. Allegedly, they're the only real couple still going on. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Allegedly.
And then we get into Ace and Shelley, and they talk a little bit about sort of like knowing each other pre-villa, if it was coordinated.
Well, even before that, because uh, with Taylor, I felt like they didn't eat Taylor up enough.
I agree. I
I
agree. I agree. I don't think I even put.
I felt like he got away with a lot, and he keeps getting away with shit, and it upsets me to the highest degree because he was you my dog, you're my
That
dog,
was so awkward.
but you embarrass me on worldwide global TV. I'm your dog.
But I
Ariana, do
think
you have an apology for Alandria? I think I do. I think I do. And I'm sorry for everything. For what, Taylor? For lying? For playing her, making
and,
her look dumb?
and here's the thing too for me, Miles. I get what you're saying about the Taylor of it all. At what
My light
point?
don't went out. When did it become?
You look fine. And when do it becomes? At what point? Like, was we just gonna let Taylor play with Alandria to the end?
Who is we?
Like America, the people. Like, I want to know what was their. Do we clap?
Booby Clap sent me.
But like
Sent me.
how like because I think and I'll get to it later, whatever his name was, the Brazilian or whatever the Indian Charlie. Charlie, when he was like,
It was
y'all should
none of those things.
I meant British, but it was hard for me to get to that.
You went from Brazil to India.
Ah,
Okay.
Brazil, British, and then like UK,
And
Indian.
then Indian colonization. Sure. Yeah.
And so I think he called it right. Y'all should have got rid of him, mind you, production. Y'all should have got rid of him, but y'all want to get rid of me. And so I think,
I even would take it a step further. They should have got rid of Huda.
and we're never gonna do that.
And they weren't going to do that. But okay, sure, fine.
Yeah, I look my sister. They treat a lot of people with kid gloves and didn't hook up on a lot of things. Yeah, I the whole
But
Taylor of it.
also, Charlie also had it right too. Charlie was the easier vote. So regardless, Charlie, you were going home.
Yeah, it was an easy vote.
So which
But
is it, Charlie? We should have said Taylor home, or you were the easy vote. Which one?
I don't like how they did it, at least from what they showed us. Look, bye, Shaman. Hope you watch it
Yes.
tomorrow. But yeah, so so going back to Ace and Shelley, my bad. Going back to Ace and Shelley, so they were talking about how Shelley was the mean girl and Ace was the villain. How do you feel about that?
Ace was the villain.
Oh,
Shelly was not the mean girl. And Ace was the villain in the sense that he was painted to be the villain, right? I also think he was a direct villain to Jeremiah.
Shout out to Jeremiah. We'll get to him later.
Ace was a direct villain to Jeremiah specifically. He's never beating that allegation whatsoever. He wanted Jeremiah out. And regardless of what he said, what he did, what we saw, and what we know he wanted, And what we also saw from that vote,
It
that
happened.
Nick wanted them to run the clip. They said Jeremiah, him and Taylor said Jeremiah immediately.
Immediately. Mind you, I said what I said. But yeah, so whatever. I don't really want to say this. Who was
But
upset?
Shelly wasn't the mean girl. I think she
From
just
what I
was
saw, I
the
didn't
same
give
thing as
her.
I said last time. It was just unfortunate that she was also tied to Ace, and then that I think affected to the PR. But still a beautiful couple. Still love them,
And what it was, I think Taylor was who they kept saying Ace was. Okay, what do you think about this take, Myles? Taylor
I think
was
that's
who
correct
they said.
too, because Taylor likes to do this thing, and this is also what pissed me off during the reunion. Was he likes to hide behind, he likes to come to the back. He likes to throw it out there, and then he wants to hide, throw rocks, and then slink back.
Not sling
Throughout
back.
slink back. The entire reunion, he was over here behind Clark. Alandria looking at you, talking dead at you. You over here.
When do it become?
Bitch, we're talking to you.
And we're talking to you now. Speak up.
He had all that smoke on Keke Palmer's podcast talking about, yeah, she da 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 da. But when you come to Alandria face to actually say something, you can't say nothing because you already
And you
know
want to say how much you love her and this and that. I don't want to fucking hear it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah, Taylor was was also the villain.
And so somebody, oh yeah. So going back to Taylor, to your point, I agree with Landria's point. I keep wanting to call her Nicolandria. I agree with Landria's point. Why would I be following somebody who got to grow onto me? Who got to grow to me?
Yeah.
Like, are you effing kidding me? I look like this. I'm hot as hell. I'm gorgeous. I'm whatever. And you got to grow.
Baby girl really took that to heart. And I don't blame her from Taylor's standpoint.
Would you not?
I think I sympathize and empathize from like the America standpoint of like coming back. And she was just like, y'all really thought I was simping. And it's like people with a brain knew that like she didn't know. It was still very much embarrassing. Like I was like, oh girl. But like I knew that she didn't know. Like I'm privy to that. But America as a sense, I think that's hard to come back to for Alandria, and that was an adjustment for her.
How would you feel if your partner told you they had to grow to you?
I wouldn't be with them
at all. What do you mean you got to grow to me?
Yeah, we're friends.
Be like I'm a fucking germ. Like no. And so I think that, and then saying ex, I agree with her. Ex is crazy. We're not exes.
No.
Let's keep it cute. You
Yeah,
will never name me ever. No. I don't even care if I was hooded.
We barely did anything
on the heat challenge. And then Nick, I just think Nick is a little too chummy with the ops to me. Like I think Nick is
I agree.
Ops. I think that like I think that he wants to be friendly. I think he's riding the wave and he's being realistic. He's like, this is where I'm at now. This is not where I'm going to stay. And it shows to me.
It shows. Well, no, I agree. Nick also has a problem with seeing the best in people. And it goes too far sometimes. You said what?
The best in the checks to come too. Because he knows I'm thinking in the big brother standpoint. You have your final two who y'all are going to the end of the game, period. But you know that you can't just get there with just y'all two. And so how are you going to use the people around you to continue to propel you and continue to keep you in relevancy and to continue to keep you, Huda is the moment. Huda is the Huda, whatever his name is the thing. And so
even on the show, he was still very much like, even though he was critical of Huda, he still was supportive of Huda. Like, even in times where Jeremiah was like, fuck Huda, fuck this, and Nick would be like, well, Jeremiah, sure, Huda did do those things, but you did this as well. And he definitely told Huda, I wanted to vote you off twice, and I did vote you off twice. And I still think you should go home, in fact, but I also still love you.
I think, though, in the context of the show, great. It's the post show for me. I think in the context of the show, you're in the show, you're living.
It's the same Nick. I think that's what I'm trying to paint.
And he is the same Nick, but my point is, we're no longer in the show, and we're no longer in the villa.
Drop the act.
Drop it. And so that's my point. And so, it's my dog. Do we clap? And so moving on to segment 3, they talked about the Casa Amor people just real quick. Austin is a dingbat. I don't want him
A
on
dingbat.
television shows. He's not cute.
His frontal lobe is fried.
String sentences together, and he does not he doesn't really even hold himself accountable. You know,
he never was.
And so I think
and
with
that's
the
why Ace
Jaden
was on
girl,
his head all the damn time because he was the easy target.
the Jaden girl, was it Hannah who jumped in for Jade? I didn't know who Hannah was to the very end. I know they said her name, but somebody
it was Adrena.
Okay, somebody jumped in for. Okay, Adrena was a baddie. I remember her. I remember a black baddie. Fine.
Oh, and well, she don't claim black. Careful.
I'm gonna control it.
I'm just trying to hold you to what you say. She don't claim that.
I'll tell you right after this. I'm gonna control it. So that really, I don't have nothing else good to say about it. Wow.
Control it.
The whole segment with Austin was awkward.
A mess, but I loved it because she ate him up.
And she did, and she saved it for him. She was saving him, in my opinion, because she should have been. But she was like, you know what? I'm gonna let him make it. You know what I mean? And so he
truthfully makes a fool of himself.
It wasn't exactly. It wasn't. So the friend was like, but you read the messages, and I saw it. I was with her when she read it, and like and I'm like, Jaden, you wasn't gonna do that because I would have jumped in and said that. And so that was messed up. Hey, Elon deserves a special break, a special
girl, moving forward.
A special pause. Like, what's his name on Instagram?
I know it's your show, but that slick back he had was not doing it this episode. I'm sorry. You got to watch the show. His slick back looked better on the actual show than it did on this reunion.
Is he Elon Bieber's?
Looking like a pimp named Slipback.
He in Miami. I think I'm gonna have to move to Miami.
Anyway.
Okay, control it.
Please.
Hey, Elon, no. Coco was kind of cute to me, but to her, we have thoughts. So my notes that I talked about Coco is she talked about how they was very standoffish and how she was so team chocolate girl. You're contradicting yourself. Yes. I think you were looking for a moment. I think you were mad and you were upset because you weren't in the crew and you weren't in the
consistently looking for a moment.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but I feel like because they didn't loop her in and she wasn't in the circle, she was like, "What can I do to antagonize to get myself in?" Babes, take your L and go.
It was after the show. It was she got booted off and that's she tried to claim her minutes of fame. Well, okay. I thought you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like after because I didn't watch the show, so I'm just judging myself.
Yes.
I don't know how long she was there, but it gave to me like, damn, I want to be a part of the shit. Hey, we've been here. Like, it's been
you got to get your minutes of fame. Yeah.
And so you want to, and I love Alendra. I wasn't fucking with it. You said it to me.
Didn't you see that text that I DM'd you? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I read it, but I wasn't fucking with it.
Because what did you thought you was gonna drag me with Keke Palmer or whoever, Nick Val, whoever you was interviewing with, and you thought you was gonna make a man out of me, and then I was just gonna be here and smile with you and Keke with your bangs? No, we're not doing that. And so I do hope that they get to a point of, but like, why would we? We'll never be in the same circles. There's no reason for us to ever come together. And like, I mind you, Nicolandra, but that's the thing too. She knows that the girls are in and their girls are going to get called back and they're going to whatever. So she wants to be in that sphere. These people want to stay in the sphere. And so they're doing what they can to stay connected. My thing is, Huda can be a bad bitch on her own. Mind you, I don't know how she has any friends, but she can be a bad bitch on her own. And regardless, we're going to want to follow her in her relationship with all these people. You know what I mean?
I know.
And, and so Huda talking about she was bullied. And then y'all over here add to the bully narrative. And to me, it didn't give bully. And I hate some of these TV shows. And I understand that I'm not the demographic for them all. But when it gets to the point of where people are bullying, no, ho. People are holding you accountable. People might be snickering and talking about you. And so I did look at the clip. I don't know if that's at this part, but I looked at the clip when they was talking about girl, look at her. And she was like, work it out, whatever. It's like, do she think we staring at her? Like, to me, that was just light, fun shade, whatever about. Like, like she's look at her, ha, ha, ha. No one, my thing is, Huda, to bully you, people will be talking about something, one, that you can't control. People will be ostracizing you. People will be really, mind you, I don't know if they happened on the show or not, but from
And
the
some of that was happening, but
okay, well, we don't need to discuss that. But to me, Huda, what proper bullying is people triangulating and manipulating you and you know, try don't be with your child. How about that? How about you gonna make sure your child doesn't have bullies?
my thing was she was trying to say that she was being bullied, but she never talked about how she was also textbook bully. Like bombshells came in, I don't like that bitch. Another
Well,
bombshell
she's
comes
a
in,
mean
she's trying to
girl.
da 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 da
And I
da.
can't stand a mean girl saying that they're bullied because
She's
you're not.
not just a mean girl, she's a textbook bully. Like insecure person projects and bullies people. Like she chased Iris around the villa and then tried to like also spin it in the same narrative so that she wouldn't seem like she's this bad person. But girl, you on the same show wrote, because it comes up later when she wrote that message in the stand to business. I hate they
We
kept
don't get on
saying
that.
stand
I
up
don't like that.
business.
That was the title of the thing. I think
I
that was.
hate that they kept. I blame Justin Bieber, but Grayson, you bullied Grayson. That
Oh,
was a bully moment.
Sierra was a mean girl.
I wouldn't say Sierra was a mean girl
Oh,
per
she
se.
got points for me. Next, never mind. She wasn't on the show. Let's go on to Zach K. Zach K was looking cute. Amaya talked
Well,
about, you know, he was
I
using
can't
this
get
for
past the
clout.
haircut and the veneers.
He got them chompers. I don't know how he looked, but from the little pixelated
What
little
you
thing,
mean? You just said he was cute.
from the pixelated thing, he looked cute.
Okay.
I was looking at on my iPad. I wasn't staring at him too hard. I don't even know who he is, but you know, I thought it was interesting that they were talking about him being performative, like they're not. And Amaya and Brian, y'all are done. And so all the thing and all the smoke he was bringing on,
That didn't age well, yeah.
he was being, it didn't age well because you're talking about he was being strategic. He was, yes, he's on the show, babes. He's conserving his energy till he needs to, and you're mad because he's doing what he needs to do to turn on, and then you know be back in whatever. Like he only chatted when he wanted to. Babes, you don't even want to chat and you're doing it. Like I do need us to like when it becomes where we have a real conversation. Are we gonna have a real conversation or not? And so
Amaya was trying, you know, and I think that also
allegedly, I hear that,
contributes
whatever.
to. That's not alleged. For those of us who watched, Amaya was trying. You know, she gave it her best foot forward. She really wanted to like, you know, make a connection. And the problem was she was struggling, which was where the empathy came from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Zach could have been honest. I understand why he wasn't, but
Like, did he
everybody
not
knew
like
that.
her?
Yeah, that he didn't like her. And the fact of the matter is, it was such an obvious switch that it's clockable, and so he might as well just been like, you know what? Yeah, I
Oh,
did
that's why
switch
they were
because
bad because he didn't like her.
yeah, he didn't like her. Well, he first told her he did, and then he got turned off by her. And then when he
And I
found
get
out
it. She's
that
a
she
beautiful
was
girl. She's
America's
alive.
favorite, but when he found out that she was America's favorite, he switched back on and was like, "Oh, Amaya, I'm trying to," da, da, da." And it was like, "Now wait a minute, okay." You at this point, it was so clockable. You could have just been honest about it and just been like, you know what? Yeah, I did look at her different, you know, and it made me rethink some things. I think he could have been. I think he could have been more honest.
And I
So
did hear this that Amaya, and that's why y'all gave her the money because she was having a hard time finding a connection with someone.
mm-hmm. That's why y'all
Try
gave her the
Sears.
money you're sending me.
Try Sears.
Hey, Lauren.
And so moving forward, Pepe. So, oh my goodness, no one admitted to writing a question about asking about whatever. Do you not truly like something about Grayson over Hannah? And it was
Mm-hmm.
Huda.
Yep.
The people don't want help for Huda.
They don't want help for Huda. And then she bullies Grayson right then and there on the stage, where if you don't listen close enough, you don't catch it. But she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I love you. I didn't mean for it to be that bad. I didn't mean to hurt you that way."
Yeah, that's why
So
I
you
wrote
did
in
mean
my
for
notes
it
this
to be
apology.
bad, and you did mean for it to hurt. You just didn't mean for her to be affected and for you to be called a pussy ass bitch for it.
And my thing is, and who was that she told? It was it Jeremiah or was it Chris?
Chris,
And she was like, "Girl, don't tell nobody." But oh, okay. And
But you
so
were bullied. Okay.
exactly. And so, whatever. Um, then we go into the next segment. I'm kind of bored when they were talking about Iris, TJ, Pepe, and Hannah. I took no notes because I was bored. I have nothing to say about that girl because I thought
I
she was.
think Iris should go back to TJ
So,
and live happily ever after. But that's all I got to say.
and so next on the girl who I was going to talk about who's not black. I really didn't like
Uh-huh.
what she had to say, but I guess not that important, huh? I think Charlie is very sweet. And I think Hannah. Oh, he's not.
He's sweet because he's a white bread.
I do not think he's sweet because he's a white Brit from the show and what they gave me. He looked like he got the short end of the stick.
Probably crazy as hell. And that's why Hannah don't want to be with him.
Well, Hannah's crazy as hell.
Hannah is not crazy as hell. She is the thought for sure. She's not crazy though.
Well, that's crazy to me.
No, what's crazy is Charlie and your affinity for him. I'm
I
sorry,
don't
I'm
have
forgetting we're on a
affinity
public
for Charlie.
show. So I'm forgetting we're on a public show.
And can't control it. Here's my thing. My only thing about Charlie is from what they showed us, and you asked me, is it a coincidence? From what they showed us on the show, they didn't show all of Charlie's antics. They showed Charlie being with old girl with Hannah and then being voted out.
You didn't see him fighting for his life to stay on when he was trying to cozy up to Amaya. He was like, Amaya, basically, please save me. Like, I want to make this work because Hannah's over there.
Insane.
She's fucking on
no,
Pepe.
Babe, you're going home. You're going home. Hannah
and then
home.
for him to be like, oh, I was the easy choice. Yes.
Yeah. And so to that point, mind you, they all do it. So I guess it's okay when they do it, but they do it better. And that was the thing. They did it better. He didn't. And that's why you got sent home. Production didn't want you to stay. Because if they did, we would have found a way. Bye, Sierra.
But Charlie was a weirdo in general.
And so, okay. But what sent me was this vote, and Shelly talked about actions and intentions, and they counted from 10 to 1 and said, Hannah. Mind you, Myles, so you don't think that production coaxed them into that? And that wasn't their second or
pressured them.
And that wasn't their second or third take to make sure they said her name at the same time when they counted to 1?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Truth be told, I don't know. But I do know production pressures them. Like they're like, you need to come up with an answer. And I think they were all just like biting onto what Shelly was saying.
And
which was the opposite of what people usually do on Love Island.
And I think production said, you need to come up with an answer. Like I mind you, this is just from the shows I watch, but I don't see how Love Island can be any different. Like it's made by the same Peacock people. Like I do think the production was like
sure. But then we gotta call every vote into question.
And every vote should be into question, babes. I hope you don't think any of them made a decision on their own. It was America's vote that they probably skewed. It was also
for sure.
And
it was sure they skewed our votes.
And it was probably productions. Like the thing is, and I was talking about this, I think, with Lauren. Oh, I was talking about this with you and Lauren yesterday about why Lauren needs to be on the ultimatum. Clock it. But like production is going to spin the story that they want that's going to be the favorable, like this is how we want to do it. You know what I mean? And so like they're not always right, and it always come and the people, this is real life. The way that people respond and the way that people act and the way there's real things. Like they're not about to just say, let's kick Myles out for no reason. It's going to be there's a storyline that we can plot into Myles being the one who sent home this week. And so that's what I mean in the sense of,
I think I mean it in the sense of I don't think they're as direct as we might think they are. I think they're suggestive. I don't think they're direct about it of like, you need to vote Hannah out.
I feel you, babes. I kind of disagree because what you gonna do? You signed like, you know what I mean? Like, JB, you signed
up. Well, they tell us. Like, they're like Serena last year, she was like, they never told us like what to do, but they were like, consider thinking about blase. And the Islanders have a choice. Because Janae was like, I got in trouble often for not doing what they wanted me to do. So what was they going to do? Kick me off?
By Sierra. So it gets to a point. Like, I think that sure, but like, Serena, you're still on Love after the bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, they don't tell you what to do. Like, it's a just in breaking the fourth wall. Like it's once again, Big Brother sometimes is scripted. And so like they probably already know who they want to win Big Brother. And we're just watching it out and we're going to be the ones surprised and shocked by the end. But these people, it's in the contracts that they sign. You know what I mean? And so like it's in all of Paramount CBS's. I don't know about the Peacock television shows and Love Island, so to speak, but like it's in there things that they're going to be the ones that, which is why I think Nick and Andrea didn't win. Because I think that,
for sure. It's all
On to not somebody said y'all should name y'all baby Shalace.
Next.
And next we talk about Belle Dasher. Annabelle, Aline, what was her name?
The dress was terrible. Next.
Okay. Hey Jeremiah.
I loved his entrance.
I think Jeremiah is the hottest person on the show. I think that
what a statement.
Who else? Who else but Vicky?
Oh, can you hear me, Sheila? I'm sorry.
What did my sister say? Most of the cast is too aware of the audience because exactly, sister. They are too aware of the audience because they're influencers in the role that play. I agree that sometimes skews a lot of the things, but mind you, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know how it skewed it. But Jeremiah,
we can come back to that. I think I do, but
in the pancakes?
No, skewed it. Keep going.
Oh, Jeremiah in the pancakes. What's your take on it?
Pancake Gate was crazy.
Was it over? Who's the one that was like in the wrong?
So I want to pivot to something else because Pancake Gate was the season, right? The Pancake Gate was only an example of the way that Huda was being manipulative
back and forth
towards Jeremiah in that scenario where she was like, oh, Taylor made me this, Taylor da. And Jeremiah clocked the fuck out of her and was like, why do you keep saying that? Like, what's the point of doing that? It's kind of weird. It's, kind of childish, kind of nuts. You know what I mean? But that was just an example of like Huda just being nuts, you know, in the show. So Pancake Gate was stupid.
Okay.
But so also very weird that I think the weirdest thing was that Jeremiah didn't know how to make a pancake. Because literally all you do is you wait, you pour it into a hot skillet, you wait for it to bubble, and then you flip it.
How old is Jeremiah?
Old enough to know how to make a fucking pancake. I feel like I learned that when I was 10.
Well, I still don't know how to make a pancake, beloved.
Oh. Well, girl, you in the same boat. I got the same smoke for you, too.
I guess that means that me and Jeremiah can't have pancakes unless we go to IHOP, and I'm okay with that. I will say, I think, I don't know per se because I didn't watch the show if he was a love bomber, but he was very manipulative in the way that he was talking about. Like he was being very clear and careful when they were talking about I can't have a pancake feeling. He was very clear and like, or not clear. He was being very controlled in the way he was talking about like, okay, but like how is
it's very clear he did his study for sure.
What is the definition of love bombing? And so you're telling me that I did this when I wasn't even, and I talked about this with you, and I was just joking with you, Ace, and then I never showed this to Huda, and I never said that I loved her, and it was too much for me. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, I kind of think you are. I didn't think you were.
I can see how it would be too much if you didn't watch the show. Because you didn't see Huda counterbalancing that. Like,
well, I heard what he was saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he was.
No. That's not what I mean.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it seems like he's being erratic, or he's being.
I don't think he was being
very controlled because of his trauma from Huda. Mm-hmm. With Huda, you have to be specific. You have to pull out the dictionary on Huda because Huda is not. She doesn't. We already established Huda is not on this plane of reality. She is not on this plane of logic, right? Huda is not going to
be a hood right after this.
So what he was doing was less so just for Huda, but more so for the American audience who was like agreeing with his love bombing. So I, for one, did clock that he did do his homework on what love bombing was and wasn't. Because he was like, it requires intent. It requires da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, sure. And I also agreed with Huda when she was like, does it, so I mean, that doesn't always necessarily mean that you're not love bombing just because you don't intend to do it. But then Jeremiah did have a point where he was like, okay, but when I was checking in with you, asking you, am I doing too much? And you said no. But then that contradicts also when you're saying I'm not doing enough. So is it that I'm love bombing or that I'm not enough? Which is it? Which is the whole point of the whole logic doesn't matter to Huda. She's just using jargon as well as everybody else is using jargon in the whole American landscape on social media about love bombing. Because what we saw was production basically fuel the love bombing narrative. And so I'm not going to sit here and lie that I wasn't also saying he was a love bomber too. But I also was sympathetic to Jeremiah's experience because I think he did really want it to work with Huda because I think he did like her genuinely, but it was just like,
So
it just
who was
didn't work.
one?
They both were toxic, but Huda obviously was the more toxic one.
And why is that?
Why?
In this relationship.
Why you want me to go through everything? Because I got a list.
I just
say the word.
Here's the thing. I think I take everything that you said, and that does color the way that Jeremiah was so controlled or so prepared for her. However, it's clearly something that other people clocked as well. And so I think it's still a part of a character trait.
Because of production and because of Ace, which then leads me to the next point of Jeremiah turning to him and saying, after he reads that definition, saying, does that make sense to you, Ace? And then Ace obviously getting cat got your tongue. Being like, well, I just feel like you was no. No, Ace, you wanted Jeremiah out. You felt Jeremiah was a threat. You wanted him out.
It hurt me to see Ace and Jeremiah at odds. I don't want to see that. Those are who I'm rooting for. That's who should have been in the Final Four.
Sure.
Oh, okay. But I think, so do you think that Jeremiah is a clout chaser?
To some degree, yeah. Like all of them are. Except for Ace, because I think Ace already had 1 million followers. So I think he legit didn't need it, which was why he was as terrible as he was. What is she?
Nothing. Anywho, next case. So they talked about the guys squad and they talked about like essentially, I guess so it was Jeremiah's team versus Ace's team.
They didn't have a team. It was just Jeremiah and Austin.
Okay. And Ace is the ringleader.
I thought that was funny. He had so much smoke for Austin, and I think Austin should see his target.
I don't even remember what I was saying about this. And so the last segment, so they talked a lot about the Huda and Jeremiah of it all, and the signature quote. Would it be, if I was ugly, would it make it better?
I don't think so.
I love Huda. I love her.
My God, what a dangerous sentiment, because you haven't even gotten to the end of the show.
I think I want to be a hood rat.
Statement.
But so much self-reflection after a month, and so she can laugh at herself. You know what I mean?
Andy ate that.
As she stands her.
You're a whole new person after a month of reflection.
Exactly. And so we're gonna get into, and the last thing that I have on here before I get into some lightning round questions with you that I didn't share with you. Oh fuck, I have to ask some new questions because some of these anyway. So let's address or go back to the Huda victimization of it all. I was Monique, control it. I do like Lisa Barlow. I do. Huda was saying that the girls was her bullies. She never once stated who was her bullies, which I think is funny because I thought that it was already assumed. I thought, to be fair, I never watched the show. I thought Alandria was one of her bullies too. And to find out that Alandria and her was so close and so cool, I'm like, oh, you definitely didn't make that clear. Well, you weren't clear. And so I think
she did that intentionally.
I think she did it very intentionally. And I think it was very like, since I'm the one who everyone pays attention to solely, because Nick Alandria, I think, is more of a than Huda. I think Huda by herself and Alandria, but I think Nicolandria, Huda. But Huda, compared to the rest of her,
I
people,
like to see the numbers, but for sake of this, yes.
for the sake of the Gen Pop, the people who don't give a fuck about Love Island, the people who are talking about Love Island, we hear Huda, we hear Nicolandria, but there's positive things about Nicolandria. We're not going to always, a lot of people don't just naturally gravitate to like the person who causes all the problems. They're not gravitating to Huda. Clearly her hood rats are, but the people outside of the show aren't checking for Huda, but they are checking for an interracial world relationship, which is why Nicolandria is still checking for it too. And so I think the hate that they were getting, you didn't address it directly. You didn't address who was your bullies. And I love that when Andy asked as well, like, is or Andy or Ariana, whatever. I think it was Andy, but like, do y'all want to be friends? I love that the black girl spoke first. It was like, not really, not fucking with it. Like, you showed me you should like love you from a distance, which I hate that phrase. I really do. I think it's overplayed. I think it's overplayed to say that you love somebody from a distance and you go whatever, and you care about them, but it's just not good for you. Spare me. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to me that Huda. I don't know. I had this perception of Huda. I knew she was chaotic and she was all over the place. So who am I to have a perception over someone who she can't sit still to have a target or a brand, a name placed on her? But she's so scary, but so nasty at the same time.
She
And
gave
so
scary.
she's giving scary. Why aren't you saying who your bullies are? If you got an issue, say it. Why are you afraid to say who the people who are bothering?
Because if she says it, the ambiguity gives her protection. It's not even that she's scary, but the ambiguity gives her protection because if she makes the bullies seem a lot more than who they actually specifically are, then it only enhances her own victimhood. If she can make it seem larger, she seems more like the victim.
And that's fair, and I take that and I receive it. But I'm just saying,
Because at the end of the day, it comes down to specifically Sierra and what's her name, Shelly.
Calculated, very calculated, but I think calculated in the sense of she's still not standing in her stuff. For real, for real. The only thing she stood into, the only thing she stood in was and I want to know your thoughts about this with who was it? Was it Chris and Shelly? When she was like, well, yeah, I want to know your thoughts on this. I did not put it down on my notes.
Oh, I know what you're talking
When she
about. You're
was saying,
talking
well, I
about
told him, well, I told you that it would be good for us both.
when
But
she sat with Shelly and she wanted to, it was the end of Casa Amor. She was wanting to bring Chris back to the villa, and she sat Shelly down to say, hey, I want to bring Chris back for you and me. And Shelly was like, okay. And my thing is, Woody, I didn't think they needed to play me the extended because I got the gist the first time.
I got the gist. What are you showing me? And I think they showed that to make Shelly look a fool. But to me,
I think so.
I still got what she was saying, and I still felt like Huda. Don't watch the show, but I felt like Huda did exactly what she said. And so I'm curious of you who watched the show, whose side are you on? Because I'm on Shelly's side because I do think that
Shelly.
Okay, I do feel like Huda, like that gives Huda to be like, no, girl, like, but it'll really be good for you. It'll really be good for you and me. Like, I don't think that she was like, once again, that's to my point of her being scary. I don't think she was too scary about like, I want him, but I don't think she was like, and in that clip, it did look a little bit more like she was like, well, no, I do want him. And like, it's not bad for you. But I think that she was a bit more, she really laid it on and layered it on thick.
I think she was trying to be manipulative and it wasn't landing on Shelly the way that she wanted it to. And which is why Huda kept repeating herself. And also why Shelly, also after that clip was shown, Shelly was like, so yes, that clip was that, but also that wasn't the only conversation we had. Like we had multiple conversations about this and where she kept saying, oh, this is for you, this is for you, this is for you, which tells me that Huda was trying to create the narrative that I'm bringing Chris for Shelly. Even though Huda in her own words said she was going to bring Chris back regardless of how Shelly felt. So it was really, again, never about Shelly. It was always about Huda.
And my thing is, then don't say it. Don't make it a point of your storyline. Apollo was your storyline and now he's gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, no. And so yeah, to her, talking about what you should be focused on is you and Ace. I am.
The problem is you keep bringing it up.
And so, and a man that I don't want, she don't want, and don't want you. And so, I also want to talk about the heart rate challenge that I thought was really hot.
I thought it was hot too. I'm not gonna lie. Context aside, I said, "Oh, this was cute. I love this. This was." But context applied, I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Oh, that's not good. That's not good, girl."
And I think to their point, stop saying we were consented into this. No one's saying that you're a
And that's why I said Iris was fake. Iris, you did, girl. You better be lucky because I got no beef with you, but I would have sent your ass home. I promise you. Because she was like, "Yeah, we all. I just feel like we should have had a conversation about boundaries. We clearly just didn't have. Shut up.
Well,
Shut up. Me and Ace, we are in the 5th week. Me and Ace have been going strong. Fuck what you saying. You know damn well me and that nigga was about to lock it down.
Well, and then apparently, didn't they lock it down that episode or that week?
Right after.
Yeah.
Yes, that week.
And so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it was definitely a little bit too much. And like, I get it. You want a moment. And that's the thing. My sister's been saying it a lot. Like, a lot of these people are influencers, calculated. But to the point of like, y'all want moments so bad.
And you were ready to risk your so-called girl relationship.
And to me, Huda never gave girl. Huda gave Huda girl. And so
she never gave it. She wanted to give it so bad, but because she's so delusional and detached from reality, it was never going to be that. Because it was always about you and what Huda wanted. And Huda said it to Shelly.
And that's okay.
She brought Chris back. Oh, what did she say? Because I had the quote written down, girl. Hold on. What did she say? She said, in her words, she said, Huda, don't do it, even though I'm going to do it anyway. So you know this about you. Quit playing with me.
And don't bring it to me.
Because you make me want to beat your ass. But I know if I do, I'm going to be more the bully.
Yeah. And that's the part I don't fuck with. So is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to chat about real quick before we get into this lightning round? And then very, 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 very lightly, because we are.
Oh, of course. Lightning things.
Ace.
Lightning things. Nick rolling the tapes for Jeremiah's exit just because he wanted to show he had his own brain. Cute, whatever. I love that. Who invited JD? JD is he's so pitiful. He's the same as Austin to me. I don't even know
who that is.
Exactly. So annoying. Justice for Hannah. I can't say that can't say that enough. Charlie took up way too much for my liking. I know that you said you like Charlie, but Charlie would not shut up, which was indicative of how he was on the show. He would not shut up. I haven't know it, and I just want to know it. Shut up. Shut up. Ace and Shelly. I did agree with Austin when Austin said it's the system that y'all designed, because it was. It was you, Shelly. It looked like you sent Hannah home, and Ace sent Jeremiah home. And now y'all are saying like, "Oh, we're the villains." Well, for a little bit you were, but you know what? You're still my top 4 couple.
And production needs a villain, and so y'all took
that.
Production, so y'all can't be mad because I think Ace is very upset with the way production showed him. You can't be mad that you willingly gave into.
You gave it, and you have 1 million followers anyway. You really didn't have that much to lose. It was fine. I wish Andy cut Charlie off more often. I wish Hannah Banana was in the final 4. That's all I got to say. Also, Zach wishing Amaya and Brian well before them to just break up. 8.
Wait, who's Zach?
Zach was the veneers and bowl cut.
Oh. Was there another Zach? Is there a reason why they went by Zach K?
There's another one that they say is bi-curious or bisexual, yes.
Was he there?
Yes, he was.
Oh.
Same as JD. Zach is next. He's in the back row right next to Austin on the left side.
Okay. I see Coco Chanel. Okay. Let me ask you some lightning round questions. So answer quickly. So this is I can't say some of these because we already know, but it's the category is real couple, brand couple, or ask me next month.
Oh, I love it.
Nicolandria,
Brand couple.
Shelly and Ace.
Real couple, brand couple.
I can't say Amaya and Brian because done.
Yeah. Ask me this month.
Taylor and Iris done. Taylor and Brooke, or whatever her name is. Taylor and Chance, whatever. You know who she is.
Real couple, brand couple.
Okay. Damn, and I think that's it, right?
The ones that are still there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We're still together, yeah.
That was fine. Who was the most improved at the reunion?
Most improved at the reunion?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I don't have an answer. Nobody really seemed improved to me.
Okay. Who was the most unserious but entertaining?
Austin.
Who had the best accountability?
Ooh, that's a good one. Pepe.
Okay. Who do you think is the most likely to thrive on Traders?
On Traders?
Mm-hmm.
Amaya. I wanted to say Huda, but Huda lie her ass off way too much.
Yeah.
She get caught.
I thought you were gonna say like Ace or like Jeremiah.
Ace wouldn't go far because he's too much. Yeah.
Okay, and then one person who
Jeremiah would be good though. I think he'd be a good personality.
One person
I don't know
who
if he'd
needs
win
to
though.
rebrand before the next summer.
One who needs to rebrand before the next summer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Huda, but I don't want a rebrand from her. I would really love a rebrand from Adrena.
Can you pick another name?
What do you mean?
She's not black, so she's really burnt for me.
You loved her so much.
I did. Okay. And then one person who should stay the exact same.
Should stay the exact same. Alandria.
No, Alandria, perfect. And so real quick, going into so I listened to a little bit of the Ace interview.
Oh yes.
And there was a lot of controversy that came out of it, of course. And I think one, Ace name isn't Ace. That's interesting.
No, it's not. That's his nickname.
Yeah, he was so like, yeah, but my name's Ace.
You're funny. He
talked about having platforms. Ace in his interview gave real obsessed with branding himself as like trying to
leader.
Not that as much, but branding himself as someone who's like he's very social media aware, and so he's not really in it for the social media, and he's not trying to be with someone for the social media. Like it was a little bit too much for me in the interview.
I didn't watch the interview, but to an extent I agree, but I also understand your dissonance with it. I agree with him to the extent that like he already, even before on Love Island, he already had 1 million followers. So I'm sure for him, he was just like, this is just fun, something fun, brandy, that hopefully something good comes out of it. You know, I think he talks a little bit too much about it. And I think he's very concerned with how other people are, which I think, or how other people are trying to climb the social media ladder or whatnot. And it comes very much from his own internal superiority complex of like, you know, just be real, just be da 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 da. When it's like, okay, but we're in this very, very visible competition with each other. And I'm not talking Love Island, I'm talking social media. So it just comes that he's just trying to be all, you know, bigger than thou. And it's like, it's unnecessary. I don't know if that where you were going with it, but that's how I feel.
Well, yeah, I don't know what it is that I was trying to go at, but it was just very like it was something noticeable that like throughout the interview he kept mentioning that. He kept mentioning that in production and and I'm like,
yeah. And it's like, okay, we get it. You got you got yours, but like also everyone else is valid in what they want from the show. Period. Like
my sister says she don't know why Nicolandria are catching phase from people. I think that people are just speaking their truths. But I think his brand. Oh, I do think that because he was talking about how much his brand is about like and elevating people and being da da da. That makes sense. That he probably feels like this villain edit of it all.
Really I could see that.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Sure.
Thank you, Moni.
That hurt that little ego of his.
It did. And so, yeah, he talked about, you know, him being the leader of like, as far as getting the men to explore, and like they wouldn't have explored essentially if it wasn't for him and his influence. Um, he talked about the thing about him and Shelly, which made sense to me of in the sense of like, yeah, I don't really know the girl. Like I've seen the girl and like whatever, like it's a small world, you know what I mean? Like saw the girl on
I
social
agree
media, we
with
never
that.
thought it was
Yeah,
gonna work. He's 22, he's 23, I think.
about to be
Um,
23.
gotcha. And so I think, yeah, like I'm in DC or I'm in LA, you're in New York. Like, okay, I guess we'll never work, girl. So this wasn't nothing to really think about anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it was anything very like
I don't think so
calculating
either.
going on into it. And I mean, once again, he's 23, he's not that smart. Like, no shade. Like he hasn't lived
Yeah.
much life to be planning something like that.
If
Um,
anything, it was because he was calculated that it came off calculated. Because the one
exactly.
thing that was calculated was he was like, I know that I already am familiar with Shelly, and I already know that I am attracted to Shelly. But in the same vein of what he was saying when he was trying to get the other boys to explore, that was his excuse of like why he didn't pursue Shelly at first. He was like, I wanted to explore, and then if nothing came of those things, then I would, be
Yeah. Well,
strong
my
with
thing is,
Shelly.
you're 23 trying to
But
be.
that came off calculated, and that's why yeah.
He talked about the height thing a lot, and then he talked about the hood of it all, and saying that there was influences. He said that they was gonna keep Taylor, or they wanted to keep Taylor, or whoever it was that Hood was against. Um, Here's my problem. Why is this competition called Standing on Business? I'm
Justin Bieber.
uncomfortable.
Justin Bieber.
I'm uncomfortable. And I think that it's very messy. I think that Ace has an issue with Nick. I think
Yeah.
that Nick did something to hurt his ego. I think maybe Nick not really
Mhm.
speaking up for him so much, whatever it was. And like he wanted to
Going
get
back
this
to his,
back.
Ace's
Yeah.
tarnished image.
And I guess Nick's apparently great image. Meanwhile, he's like, he has such a great image, but he just said he wanted to bang the girl. He said he was only physically attracted to her. He didn't really like her. I wonder if that's what it
And
is.
my question is, when was that comment?
In the villa.
So we are out of the villa, and we already know that Nick had that comment. We all know that. We
But
were
they
all
did,
aware. We were
he
all
did
there.
he did say that it was get yourself together, don't hate. Jealousy is the ugliest trait.
It's right.
um, I think I don't know.
And that was what. And so when we were talking about this earlier today, I was like, so here's this thing with Ace. And Nick is not, I'm gonna get on Nick head too. But here's my thing with Ace. Ace is often blinded by his own conviction. Ace, the thing that we love about him, the thing that I love about him is that he is a leader. He's very confident. He's very he stands in his convictions, right? But he's also very blinded. At the same time, he can be blinded by his own convictions
Mhm.
because he's so confident, it's easy to believe him off rip. However, for me personally, watching Ace throughout the season, I can tell when he is feeling insecure or when he is feeling doubt or unsure. And even in this reunion, you can see that because when Jeremiah went to him and said, "Is that does that correct for you, Ace?" and that voice cracked a little bit, and I was like, "Exactly, gotcha,"
He
because
did say, mhm.
you knew it was too much. But then the thing is that he's so blinded by his conviction because he can sometimes lean too much into his own self-righteous brattiness sometimes. And that often blinds him. And where he's quick to call out other people, but not necessarily to call in himself in situations. So I can see him getting upset with Nick and, all these things kind of compounding. I can also see Ace not really taking into account all of these situations as well because he's so in his own conviction that, like, you should have been supporting me. You should have been saying this. You should have been standing on business. You should have da 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 da. Okay, but Ace, what about you? Because there's a lot that can be said about you. And
Well,
sure, go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
no, to this point though, I think well, look at what you're doing now. And so if I didn't have your back
Exactly.
then, why don't you have my back now? And so are we just done? Is there no repair that I can do to show you moving forward? And he talked a lot about like having his back, like, and he was like, you know, people, for instance, Nick was like, y'all should have been a part of the Final Four couple. But then when they talked, look, my sister enjoying you. Then when they talked, he was like, or when they had the reunion, my bad, he was essentially, they were like, oh, these are the 4 people who needed to be here. Did it when 2 of y'all broke up and 1 of y'all broke up at the thing?
Wow.
Um,
And
and
he's
so,
definitely, you know, that definitely hit the ego. I understand.
yeah, he made it so far just to give it up, give it up first leg. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And because I also think in Ace, the biggest example I can think of was when the Huda lap dance happened. And Ace was deflective of what the actual issue was that Shelly had. And he was trying to basically throw another issue in. And it was like, y'all
Hmm.
are talking about 2 separate things.
Yeah.
And you and Shelly had to be like, so first of all, I'm not upset with you, but I
Mhm,
can be if you want me to be, but I'm not upset with you in this
mhm.
moment. And Ace was just like, well, I just feel like da da da. And it's like, all right, again, the conviction thing is cute for sometimes, but fall back because
Sometimes.
sometimes, all right, fall back a little bit because you're blinding yourself a little bit. And I'm sure they had a conversation, they apologized or whatever. Even when Coco at the reunion was like, you basically led me on, which he did. In the same way that Shelly led Chris on, but it's also a game, it's also production and those things
Exactly.
like that.
You were
But
a
when
you were a harlot. You were a bombshell, right?
exactly, but when she says that, Ace comes back and it's like, well, I'm sorry if you felt I led you on. No, it's not. I felt you did. You could have told me you were going to pick Shelly. You didn't. That's
Mhm,
leading me on. You know,
mhm.
you knew you were going to pick Shelly, and we knew Shelly was going to pick Ace. Like it's not. It wasn't a game. You know, I mean, it was a game, but it wasn't a thing. So to get on Nick's head, Nick is not perfect either. Nick is
Nah,
very
and he's
grounded.
riding the wave.
Exactly. He's riding the rave. He's what I see as Nick is he's also same as Ace, but in a different way. Like
In
he's
what way?
grounded and he's honest, and he has the ability. He also has the ability to be dishonest to get what he wants by any means.
Exactly.
You know,
Or
i.e., Sierra.
and it gets to a point because now I just don't want to hear anything about Sierra and like there's nothing more that I can say because of but
It's the dance.
had Huda literally had exactly Huda
Hmm.
literally had her fans, the hood rats, having George Floyd on a Nicolandria. And so I just when you know I felt the pain in Alandria's voice when she was talking about
Oh,
how
for sure. Me too. Yeah.
so if I felt that from watching it on the whatever the fuck this is, the reunion, a month later, you heard it the day after, and you
Yeah.
still followed her 2 months later. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
But this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, where I was like, on one side, we know Nick has the uh ability to hold folks accountable with love, i.e., Huda, throughout the thing. I think he also has a
it gets to
problem
a point
with seeing the best in people a little bit too much because it's like, all right, I get that you love Huda, but also this is not a situation where we need to have some like is it it gives pick a side, you know.
because we just said this
What do you
yesterday. You
stand
stand
for?
for everything, and you stand for
What do you
everything,
stand for?
off for everything too.
And I think that's the downfall of Nick. And I don't know what him and Alandria have talked about, which is why I was like, I don't know what personally Nick would say, you know. Now,
And
granted,
it's not about saying
Huda,
actions. Unfollow her, Marcus.
following Huda, I think he should unfollow her for sure.
Or just have
I
solidarity with your girlfriend. I get that you're trying to whatever. I have
mhm,
solidarity with Alandria, and that's what it is.
yeah.
Whatever it becomes when we break up, you know, and you can and people can say their things about you wasn't really down for us to begin with because you were hurry up and you.
And I can see Nick being blinded by his own sympathy for Huda, you know.
It gets to a point.
It
All these
does.
things are happening, and
I'm
he
not
doesn't.
agreeing with it, but I that's just what I see from him.
And I don't think that he needs to necessarily intervene and jump in and be like, "Hey, listen." but I do think you need to follow suit to what your black woman is saying to you, especially when it comes to race relations.
For sure.
What you gonna
For
do?
sure.
And,
Sure.
and
Even
what
to
you
this
can't.
day, like when she posted like, "Oh, I was busy" or something like that, you know, and it was
I
like,
had a lot going on.
I had a lot going. That's what she said, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
And we thought that was cute.
it's
And
it's not.
to the
It's
point of
not.
Shelly and Lalandra being like, we good on it.
Yeah.
But I will say, I'm curious to see how good they're gonna be with that. Mind you, Shelly and Alandria has nothing to do with the ace of it. Like Shelly and Alandria can be cool. They don't have to be necessarily cool with Ace because he was on the show. Because I think it's also odd that Nick and old dude is cool with Taylor.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, they did say all the boys really stood aside and it was edited out. I should have pulled up all the stuff that they said was edited out. They said quite a bit was edited out, and that's fine.
Because they were there for a long time.
Yeah, and that's fine and that's fair about the things being edited out. But my thing is just like, stand for something else.
And I mean, all to say, and I mean, even with the edits, because it's like we don't have all the information. And I think the danger about the internet is that like people are so quick to like assert an opinion so quickly. And that's how misinformation like travels so fast. And even with Ace, I'm like recognizing that of like him being so ambiguous in some of the clips that you were sending me, Woody, that he was saying. I was like, say what you're saying.
A bit ambiguous. Like, I will say he was saying what he was saying, but he was still ambiguous. He wasn't standing in it, but he did say it. He said, "I'm not cool with Nick anymore. I'm not cool with Nick as we once were, and here are my friends, and I'm not cool with Nick because I feel like he wasn't on my side. When was he not on your side?
Exactly. Say what you're saying.
Yeah. When was he not on your side? When exactly? And don't say, well, some people. So was this the instance that Nick wasn't on your side because he didn't say, because he said that y'all were supposed to, which he did say that in the
Give me the timestamp. Give me when did it occur? What, like, corroborate. But also, if you're going to do all this and not say when, who, what, where, or why, or blase, keep that energy for Nick. Talk to Nick about that. I don't need to be brought into this if you aren't going to give me all the information that I need. I don't give a fuck if you ain't talking to Nick. But if you're going to tell me that, you better tell me the information that I need to know, because otherwise, who am I to believe you? The thing about Ace is that, again, he stands at his convictions so firm that it's easy to believe that what he's saying is what he's saying. But also, Ace be lying too.
Mm-hmm. Ace says things that makes it good for him.
Correct. So it's like, if you're going to say it, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. And that gets me to the Alandria part of it all, where he's like, oh, I love Alandria. We're so cool. So da-da-da-da-da. You just threw her relationship under the bus.
And what do you think,
y'all? Think everybody's not going to catch on to that?
Exactly. Where do you think you're going to land with that? Of like, you are no longer, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, you love somebody, but you're going to be like, they're not real. They're not real. They're not da-da-da-da. First of all, that's none of your business. Uh-oh, you froze. Or is it me? My time's still going.
My time's still going.
There you go.
But I think it was the cheekiness of it that I didn't like either, Myles.
I didn't like it either.
It was this like
you're
being cheeky about you're being cheeky. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about you and key and smile and twist and twirl, and you know what I mean?
For real. Again, say what you're saying.
Agreed.
And then if you're gonna speak with this conviction, talking about, oh, we so cool, be congruent in what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Be congruent. If you love Alandria, you should never have spoken on their relationship.
Or I personally don't think their relationship is strong enough. Or you can be like, because I mean, to the point, Nick has nothing to do with me, and like you're messing up her bag is what it is, and that's what we're not.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
That's what we're not talking about. You're messing.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
And yes, we know that they're probably just a brand relationship for right now, and they do like each other. And they have that physical attraction. This is their brand, and you're causing cracks within their brand. And so, like, I get it. Let her ride the wave.
Because you're mad and allegedly jealous. Let
her ride the wave a little bit. You know what I mean? And because there's a difference between the reality. Because the reality, Myles, I'm not standing for someone who I don't think my friend is. You know what I mean? I'm not about to play with that. I don't think they're good for you. What now?
But
But
I'm also not going to go on blast and tell everybody that the girl.
well, I'm not
No,
saying that when y'all just did a us cover and y'all whatever they're doing.
no, that's not my no.
While you're in
Talk to them.
oh, exactly. And like I get Speedy's supposed to be like this culturally relevant and like he's gonna get the answers, so you're gonna get into it and like the things that you're not gonna say and share with everybody else. But it's
But he
just
didn't
like,
have to pull Ace's leg to get that out.
you didn't. You
He had
didn't.
to. He all he had to do was. Oh, so are you? Is
Oh,
that
I
your
think
answer or is that the thing?
I think
Okay,
you
well
put
that's your
yourself
answer.
wrong. Exactly.
And then not only that, then Ace started to be like, "Yeah, I don't think it's real." Essentially, and I'm like, "Ooh, ooh."
Anywho,
It gets to a point.
I enjoyed the Love Island reunion. I was thoroughly entertained.
So
It was
entertaining.
nice hearing the interview, the post interview. It was really nice hearing Miles' initial thoughts after the reunion. I'm curious to see what happens with these people. Look, my sister is going in about all these things Nick has done.
I need to read that.
But I'm very curious to see where they land. We have 3 couples left, and so curious to see how they fare in this in this jungle of Love Island.
I
Thank
don't care
y'all
no
so
more.
much for being.
I said I don't care no more. After this week, I'm done. See you
Yeah,
next
I
summer.
mean, I'm gonna be really tuned in because I want to see what happens next with Nicolandra, Shelly, and Ace. I can care less about Taylor and Bryce or whatever her name is. Like,
Yeah.
it gives me no, never mind. And so I'm curious to see because I do think, but contrary to popular belief, I need to stop talking too much about stuff. But no, I'm gonna tell you this off camera.
All
But
right.
anyway, thank y'all so much for being a part. I appreciate the support. We really had a lot of folks coming in. Shout out to my family for really coming in and popping in. Shout out to
Shout out
Myles
to the
supporting
family.
us. This is a great show. And yeah, see y'all next month. Last Wednesday of every month. Follow, like, subscribe, share.
Bye.
Bye bye.